to this 30-minute full body workout. You don't need any weights or anything. So let's get started. We're gonna start with a little bit of a warm up. So on our hands and knees, hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath our hips. And we'll just start by taking an inhale, dropping our belly down to the mat, tailbone goes up kind of towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing that belly to spine, tailbone goes down towards the mat. And press the mat away with your hands and knees and feet. And then inhaling, tailbone goes up. And exhaling, making that kind of C-shaped curve with our spine. Tailbone goes down. Let's do one more. All right. So now let's kind of come to a plank position. So walk your hands out a bit, feet go back. And we're gonna flow from plank to down dog and kind of pedal our legs to warm up here a bit. And then flowing back to your plank, holding for a couple of seconds. And then back to the down dog, pedal your legs. And flowing back to plank, holding. So when you're in down dog, you want to kind of bring your tailbone or your sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then as you flow to plank, make sure belly's drawn in, shoulders are back and down, legs are turned on. Let's do one more flow here. All right. Now coming down, I'm gonna do another little warm up for our shoulders and our abs. So I'm gonna come down to my forearms. You wanna make sure your elbow is beneath your shoulders. And then come back into that kind of plank position. So belly is drawn in, shoulders back and down, legs are turned on. And we're gonna press back again, kind of like almost in a down dog. So you're hiking your hips up. And then flowing back and forth. Hiking up and flowing. So we're warming up the shoulders here in the back. Start matching your breath to your movement. So not going too fast or too slow that your breath can't catch up. Let's do 3 more. And 2. Last one. All right, you can put your knees down, walk your arms back to do a little bit of a shell stretch. Okay. So we're gonna warm up with our 100 series. There's a few different ways that you can do this. If you want the entire time, you can have feet on the mat, knees pointed up to the ceiling, and you can be reaching like this. Alternately, you can be tabletop legs reaching, or the hardest is legs out and reaching. I'm gonna do kind of really a back and forth of tabletop to reaching out, because it's gonna help me count. So getting set up here. Whatever you're choosing. I'm gonna bring my legs up, reach my arms, so get your shoulders off the mat. Take an inhale, and exhale. All right, so inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 80, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 90, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. So, now that we've done all that, hopefully you're getting warm, getting connected with your breath. Okay, so let's come up and do tabletop legs here. Take an inhale. There's exhale. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lift your chest up, reaching up. And we're going to kind of clap behind one leg as we extend the other. So inhale, exhale, clap behind one leg. Inhale, exhale, clapping, alternating legs. Making sure you're reaching that leg far. And the tabletop leg, knee isn't coming in past its hip. So it's not coming into your belly button or anything. And you're reaching with your arms. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. Take a second here. I need a second. It's really hot in here for some reason. Okay. So coming up, legs can be tabletop or on the floor. Let's take our hands behind our head. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, curling up, we're going to rotate to the side, back to center, and down. Exhaling up, rotating, center, and down. Exhaling up, center, side, down. So as you do this, think about trying to get those shoulders off the mat each time. And you're rotating from the torso. So I'm thinking about bringing my opposite bottom rib to hip. So it's not just my arms and my head swinging side to side, it's really that chest rotating. Let's do 1 more on each side. And lowering down. Take a second here. We'll give our upper abs a little bit of a break and do something on the bottom here. So let's bring one leg to tabletop, other leg up to tabletop. And now you want to maintain that grape-sized space beneath your lower back that we always talk about. So making sure you're not going to flatten your low back to the mat, and you're also not going to arch up any bigger than you normally would, like ribs popping up, stomach popping up. So you want to be that neutral spine. The beginner way of doing this exercise is actually feet on the mat, and you're lifting one leg up to tabletop, lowering it down, other leg up to tabletop, lowering it down. However, if you want to bring it up to the next level, you would start with your legs in tabletop. Make sure you've got grape-sized space, and then inhale, tap down, exhale, bring it up. Other leg taps down, comes back up. So alternating legs, and using your abdominals here. This is actually a really good like core exercise, even though it feels like kind of light, you know, because you have to maintain that stable spine, and you want your pelvis to stay steady too. So you can, I like to even have my fingers on like my bottom ribs and my hips. Then I can feel if my ribs are starting to pop up, or if my hips, my pelvis is starting to kind of rock side to side. This is really good for the pelvic floor as well. Let's do 1 more on each side here. And then you can lower your legs, take a second, you can sway them side to side, hug them in, whatever you want to do. Okay. So we have 1 more ab move here before we move on. So again, you can do it with feet on the mat the entire time, or you can bring your legs up to tabletop. I'm gonna bring my legs up to tabletop. I'm gonna have my hands behind my head, and we're going to do kind of a pulse on the side. So take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting your chest up, and let's rotate to the left, and we're gonna pulse here kind of on the left. So if it's better for you to kind of reach one hand to help you, whatever you want to do, you can also reach one hand between both hands, reaching, thinking about bringing that right bottom rib to the left hip. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, switching sides. So now we're doing the opposite side. Try to keep your legs steady. Knees are still over your hips. They haven't started to creep in or away. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down, and sway your legs side to side. Grab a drink of water. I always forget to cue that and say that until when I'm teaching my classes and I see people grabbing their water, and I'm like, all right, go do that. All right. So we're gonna do a little bit of bridging here. Let's start, so you wanna have your hand or your feet about a hand's distance from your bum. Let's do hip width apart. And let's do just a couple articulations here to warm up. So taking an inhale, as you exhale, you're gonna begin to curl your tailbone forward, lifting your hips up and coming up bone by bone on your spine. Pause at the top for a second, and then we're gonna come down the opposite way. So now your upper spine's coming down first, and your mid spine, lower spine, and lastly your tailbone. So exhaling, kind of scooping that low belly, tailbone goes up first, and then slowly bone by bone, pause at the top, and then coming down bone by bone along the spine, really controlling the movement. Try not to miss any chunks of your spine. Let's do one more here. Gonna help us warm up. And inhaling down bone by bone. That spine is like a snake. Okay. So now that we're a little warmed up with our bridging, let's cross one ankle over your knee. Alternately, you can just do 2 feet on the ground today, whatever you want to do. So I'm gonna cross starting with my left ankle over my right knee. So think about that connection of your right foot into the ground, your arms into the ground. And now we're not going to articulate our spine, we're not going to make that kind of snake that we just did. We're just going to lift our hips up, staying in that neutral spine. So let's take an inhale. And then as you exhale, pressing into your foot, lifting your hips up as you normally would, and inhaling, coming back down. So exhaling, lifting up, and inhaling back down. Alternately, you can just have your other leg in tabletop if you prefer that. So as we lift up, thinking about reaching our knees far in the opposite direction. So they're reaching over our toes towards the bottom of our mat. Really reaching from our knee to our shoulders, creating lengthening. Also checking in with your hips that they're going up equally and coming down equally. Still trying to get that height that you always get. Trying to do 10 here, so I think we have about 4 more to do. And 3. Last 2 on this leg. And 1. Lowering down, switching sides, switching legs. So planting that left leg, right leg crosses over if that's what you're doing today. And lifting up and lowering down. Pressing through that left heel and your shoulders. reaching long from your knee all the way to your shoulders each time you come up. And you're always breathing. I'm going about 4 more on this side. And you're careful that your ribs aren't popping up. So you're not arching your back too much. If you are, maybe go to 2 feet on the ground, or even just like slightly have just the heel of your other foot off the ground, just to get used to kind of that single leg sensation. I think this is our last one. Who knows if I'm counting right? All right, and then coming down. So we're gonna do kind of like a little circuit here. So now we're gonna come up onto our bum for some tricep dips. My wrist has really been hurting lately for some reason, so I'm just gonna show a couple this way, and then I'm gonna go to a modified version. Let's have our feet hip width apart. Hands are pointing towards our bum. Elbows are pointed backwards. And we're gonna lift up, and then bending at the elbows. Elbows go backwards, lowering down and coming up. Lowering our hips and coming up. Thinking about doing this with the backs of our arms. It's not just our hips, you know, going up and down. It's our arms helping to press up and down. So I said my wrist has been hurting, so I'm gonna do kind of a modified one. So it's just my bum is on the ground and I'm leaning back, elbows still point backwards, and pressing up. So if you found it really difficult to do it with your bum off the ground, you can always do it this way. Do about 5 more. I'm trying to do 10 here. So now we have 3 more. Again, pressing through your hands, kind of the palms of your hands to get those triceps. And last one. So now, coming onto our forearms here, fingers kind of point towards our toes, and elbow is beneath shoulder. I'm sitting just kind of slightly above my tailbone. My lower back isn't against the mat, so I'm not leaning down like this. I'm slightly up in that neutral spine we always talk about. And let's bring one leg to tabletop, other leg to tabletop. And we're gonna crisscross our legs. So you can definitely just stay in tabletop crisscrossing, or you can straighten your legs and crisscross, or scissor them, sorry. So we're gonna go here. Make sure you're breathing and you're wide across the chest, and your shoulders stay out of your ears. Got a little stomach shake going on here. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering your legs. Coming back to lying down for that single leg bridge series again. So arms come down, crossing one leg over the knee if that's what you're choosing. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting your hips up and inhaling down. Exhaling, lifting up, inhaling down. So thinking about making that nice long line from shoulders, I'll show you, shoulders, hips to knee when you're up, kind of like a diagonal line. And up. Really using the bum and the back of the leg of the foot that's on the ground. We have about 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Uncrossing, getting set up, recrossing the other leg, I guess, and coming up. Now again, if this is like too much and like weird with your hip or your knee, and you don't want to just do tabletop, you can, I mean, a harder way is your legs straight up. You can definitely do that. You can do 2 legs on the ground and have your arms up. That creates another little bit of a challenge because you don't have the arm support to help you. We have about 5 more on this leg. 4. Checking in with that spine and your ribs. Make sure you've got neutral spine, you're not arching anywhere. Final 2. And last one. Coming up for those tricep dips. So again, you choose whichever you're doing. I'm doing the modified one. So elbows point backwards, feet are about hip distance apart, and then coming back and pressing up through the palms of your hands, kind of like the heels of your hands. Staying wide across the chest. Shoulders are out of your ears. And make that connection to the backs of your arms. I always find for triceps, it's like my other parts of my body want to kind of try to help me. But if it's been proven, like if you really think about the muscle you're working, then you start to work it more and you get, I don't know, whatever it is, it starts to fire in there and it gets turned on. With about 3 more here. 2. And 1. Coming down to those forearms. So again, elbows beneath shoulders, sitting kind of just above the tailbone, but not on the low back. And then if you're doing tabletop legs or straight legs, get set up and start to scissor them. Breathing through it. Staying wide across the collarbone. Shoulders out the ear. Check in, your lower back isn't sinking into the mat. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, one more series here, or set of our series. Okay, crossing that one leg over, pressing into your arms, take an inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting your hips up, and inhaling down, exhaling up, inhaling down, down. Again, always thinking about reaching that knee, like over your toes in the far direction. Shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down. Other foot comes down, crossing over. 10 on this side. So I'm always, I don't know, my hands just like float to my hips subconsciously. So I'm always checking that my hips are coming up and down level. Checking in with my ribs, that they're not popping up. 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. Coming up for that tricep dip. Last one. This is the last of this series. Elbows back. Hands are slightly under your shoulders. And we're doing 10 here, so leaning back or dipping down, whichever you're doing. More. And you want to be checking in with your knees and your feet, that they're staying still, they're not, flaring open or closing. Try to have the rest of your body still as your triceps do the work. All right, I think we have 2 more. I might get an extra one here. And then coming down to that last set of scissors. All right, getting set up, checking in with your spine. One leg up, other leg up. And we're crisscrossing. Breathing out and in each time. Again, trying to always match the move to your breath. So you never want to go in like so fast through something that your breath can't match up. Unless it's like hundreds where it's supposed to be like quick, quick, quick. This hundreds is actually supposed to be like a breathing exercise, not so much an ab exercise. For 10, 9, 8, 7, hopefully you have a shake on at home too, like me. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. All right, rolling over for our work on our back. Since this is a full body workout, we need to work our back. I'm gonna move my mat just a little bit here. So coming down. Starting with our arms kind of up in a V. First of all, let's draw our belly in, press your hips into your mat, reach your legs. So even though your legs are on the ground, you want to like reach them long to turn on your bum and your hamstrings. Okay, so let's take an inhale. And then as we exhale, hover our arms and pull them down by our sides so our elbows point down by our toes. And then arms come back up and lower down. So inhale, exhale, hover, reach, back and down, up, reach, back and down. Your head can be up or down for this. You just want to make sure you're basically not doing what I'm doing. You don't want to have creases in your neck, but I'm trying to not talk directly into the mat. And if you want also a harder challenge, you wouldn't rest your arms each time. You would just reach up, stay hovering, and pull. Up, reach, and then really pull back and squeeze. Working that upper back here. Belly still drawn in. Legs are still reaching. Let's do 4 more. Last 2. And last 1. Take a second. Whew. Okay. For some reason I find these on the stomach like the hardest things. Okay. Arms up in a V. Legs are kind of also in a V. Belly's drawn in, hips are pressed into the mat. Let's take an inhale. As we exhale, let's hover our left arm, right leg. And inhale to lower, exhale, right arm, left leg, inhale to lower. So we're gonna start just by alternating arm and leg, reaching and lowering, and really reach each time through your fingers to your opposite toes. Let's do 1 more on this side to make it even. And now we're going to reach everything at the same time. So you can stay just alternating, or if you want the added challenge, let's take an inhale. And then as you exhale, cover all 4 limbs, really reach, and inhale to lower. Exhale, reaching, inhale to lower. Up and reach, and lower. Pressing that pubic bone into the mat. Checking in with your pelvis that you're not rocking all over. You really want to be pretty still and controlled. Let's do 2 more. And then we're going to hold at the top and finish with a little bit of swimming. So holding up, flutter opposite arm and leg. You can lower in between if you want, or keep everything up. Really reaching. Pelvis isn't rocking. Breathing through it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering down. We can press back into a little child's pose, catch our breath. Coming up right at finish with some squats, because they're so good for us. And then we're almost done here, so let's do feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, toes slightly turned out. And we'll sit back like we're sitting in a chair, pressing up through your heels, sitting back like a chair, pressing up. So you want to make sure your knees are pointed in the same direction as your toes. Squeezing your bum. Let's do 5 more. I love squats because they're so good for you. They work so many different muscles. Also work your mobility with your ankles, knees, hips, everything. Okay, 2 more. Again, we might have got an extra 1 in here. On this last one, we're gonna hold. We're gonna pulse the bottom, so we're just going up and down about an inch from the bottom here. We're trying to do 10, so we have about 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, take a second, last move. Let's step out wider to kind of a sumo squat. So not quite a plie, but our feet are wider now. Toes are more turned out. Again, let's sit back like we're sitting in that chair, pressing up. Knees are tracking in the same direction as the toes again. And as I always say, you're looking about 6 feet in front of you on the ground to protect that neck. So you're not looking up like this, nor down. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and then on this last one we're gonna pulse just for 10. So just an inch up and down. 7 more. 6, 5, stay low. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up. Alrighty, time for a cool down. So let's take 1 foot in the hand. Put your knees kind of together ideally. Press that hip forward. Opposite arm can reach up if you want to work on your balance. Another balance challenge here. Wrap that ankle over the knee and kind of sit back. Stretch out that bridging we did. You can always hold on to something here if you need to. And then other foot in your hand. Knees together. Pressing that hip forward. Arm can come up if you want. Crossing that ankle over, sitting back. And then from all that tricep work, let's do a little tricep stretch. So taking your hand, just kind of reaching down the middle of your back here. Getting a tricep stretch. Other hand. Ooh, cool. Thanks so much for joining me for this really quick full body workout. As always, let me know what you want to see in the comments, or let me know on Instagram. It's also Pilates by Becky. And thanks. Hope to see you next time.